it's, you know, it's that usual stuff.
It took a while for that to sink in. I go, and everybody's posting so prolifically. How come they're not today? Oh,
it's the weekend that they're all out playing.
It just shows up something else.
Like we don't notice that, you know. I'll never get that.
Who knows? Sleeping in or something.
Yeah. It's always like that.
Yeah.
Every weekend, the posting goes like way, way down. They only post during the week. Because in the weekend, it's time for fun.
Party time.
Party time, exactly.
And no one's gonna know.
Yeah, but we'll never figure that out.
No one's gonna know.
Do they actually think that I think they're sitting there in meditation the whole weekend? That's why they're not posting, because they're so absorbed in the meditations that they're spending the weekend in meditation and inner life and
Being mindful.
exactly. They're mindful of their partying is what they're mindful
Mindful of
of.
some things, but not the right things. Mindful is right.
Yeah, that's it. Mindful. Like it's exactly it. Mindful of the next nonsense that they're chasing. Yeah, I think maybe that's the problem. They haven't got mindful versus mindful.
They've gotten mindful.
They've gotten mind full for the next crap I'm going to chase. Mindful of all the drama, not mindful. In one pointed focal of what one is engaging in this moment. No, their mind is full of all the next drama and what's coming. What can I get into next?
I keep my mind occupied
That's it. Mindful of all the things that have gone past and what I'm going to do in the future.
Now they twist things. This is supposed to be a spiritual term, mindful, but now it's not at all.
No, it's gone, the ego way, mindful. And I think that, quite a few of them have mind full of whatever nonsense that they've got going. They've got minds full, all right. So you need to empty the minds full, the full minds, and make some room for mindful.
Keep your mind empty, but then they take that to be something else, like I'm vacant and void.
Yeah, exactly, empty. Empty, yeah. I think you're right, that they think it means vacant or void.
Right, just thoughtless. I mean, you are a thoughtless, they think, is another thing, too. That would be without thought, but they just still see that as not really what it is in reality.
Exactly. Well, they think maybe it's less thoughts, but not
Yeah.
not genuine without thoughts. There's less thoughts. That's okay. Thought less. We can do less thoughts. Okay, we can deal with that. But no thoughts? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Not only no, but hell no. I can't be with no thoughts.
They always want to confirm, well, I can still think.
Yeah. Well, I could still think if I have to, don't I? Can't I? Who's there to think?
Why is it me?
Yeah, this big panic mode, they're going to lose something. Yeah, and there's no way to explain what's the difference between a thinking process and when it's just direct consciousness that brings something to the forefront. It is different. It feels different. It's just, yeah, but how to explain,
perception versus
yeah, how to explain that? There's really no way to explain that, how that works, or the, the reality, what it's like. You can't say it's like an impression that comes, or you can't even say that. It's because it's totally different. I guess you could say like thoughts are like echoes or something. It's something really kind of after the fact of consciousness. Consciousness is there before the echo, something is heard. It's just immediately there. Where a thought is kind of like an echo, it's like the echo of ego's echo of drama. Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard to explain that. Yeah. Yeah, there's just no way to even describe it. Because it's so foreign to the thought process that people experience. Just what needs to come is just there. It's, it's not like it's heard first, or it's an impression is there first and then one speaks. It's just an automatic, it just is there. One just knows. It's just an immediate thing. But, yeah, it's not like thinking about something or attempting to search, in your banks of memories or whatever to find something. It's not like that. Yeah, just different. Would I ever go back to the old thought and all of that? You sit sometimes in the how was there ever any kind of functioning happening in that maelstrom of noise and cacophony of drama and so many things just in every which way that happens in thought.
It's amazing. Intelligence can still show through that, and things do get done. I'm really amazed too, because most people's minds are cluttered. Let's face it, and there's still intelligent forces that take place even through that.
Right. Even through that, stunning. That there is stuff that comes through is pretty amazing.
But that people, like you say, can function at all in their regular day and still have, that love come forward or whatever in their regular life. It just kind of shows this grace.
Yeah, it's amazing that anything can be accomplished with that.
Seems like people would be running around like chickens with their heads cut off all the time, but it's not the case, really. I mean, in some times it is.
Yeah, sometimes it is. They run around like chickens with their head cut off, but...
and that might be their daily life anyway, but still, it's, whatever comes forward is not of all that, I guess, sometimes still. I don't know. Yeah. We want to eventually know.
Well, like I said, in the midst of the journey, you can have a time where things start shifting and there's much more quiet there. not as many thoughts, you'll reach a point where there is silence and stuff that takes place, but it's a while. It can take a number of years after that before the full falling away happens, and at that point that mind is dead. That's it doesn't reappear. There's no back and forth with it, or ins and outs like waves or whatever. It's squelched, gone.
Nothing rattles it.
No, nothing rattles it. The only thing that rattles at that point is the body, because the body is body's just, in this world of dualistic drama, and so it reacts to the, nonsense that goes on, etc. But mind has nothing to do with any of that nonsense. It would be nice to be able to just hand it to people, a moment of, genuine silence, and,
Oh, love that.
I guess if they're not prepared for it,
That'd be
some
great.
are free. They're not prepared and desiring it, they're
well, yeah, if they're not prepared and wanting it, then they'll freak, but, because that's not normal! Well, it is normal here. It's exactly normal.
And it's really what's natural. Normal.
Yeah.
Under all that.
It is what's
The rest
natural
is
and normal.
unnatural. The rest
Exactly.
is unnatural, to be quite honest. It's not.
That's what you get, there's no projection outward at that point, so that, there's no mental spin. It's submerged and fully submerged within. Okay. Yeah. So there's no more of that mind projection outward. Yeah. But yeah, it's such a different playing field, such a different reality, different experience, 100%. It's just totally different. And as much as one would love to share what that experience is, there are really no words that one can use to describe something that's beyond words, prior to words. Right? What are you going to use to try to describe that? You can't. It's not possible to really adequately describe what it's like. One is kind of stymied in that. Words belong to duality, what can be said, in the dualistic experience. So the body talks, and the consciousness is it's a great mystery. How does it happen? I don't know. Can't give the mechanics of it. I don't know. It just happens. Things have a tendency to fall away here. We'd be in the middle of conversation, all of a sudden it just, it loses its steam, and then we'll just sit here.
It just dissipates.
Energy's gone for it, that's it.
It's kind of like, hasn't it always been?
Yeah.
What just happened?
It's kind of a common occurrence here, though. There'll be something, you know, the energy will be going in that direction, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, that energy dissipates, and then there's just nothing to say. Just, we both just, nothing more comes forward. That's the end of that.
It's funny because it was so full of life in that moment, but then it's just boom,
then just all of a sudden, whoop, done. Nothing more comes forward.
It's gone.
It's just gone.
Over.
When it's gone, it's done. It's over, and that's that.
Those are the things about hanging out with Guru that take place.
Some of the weird things with hanging out with Guru.
Well, weird and good. But just,
weird and good.
I mean, always good, but not what was taking place before meeting Guru.
It's not the normal thing that you know one would be encountering.
Just like nothing ever happened and all that.
Yeah. Well, I think people don't get that until they experience it.
Yes, that took place quite a while back with you.
Yeah, that's been going on for a long time for you. That she gets around, and then it's like we'll go to do something, and the time passes like that. Before you know it, that time is over. And then the minute the activity's over, it's like it never happened.
Yeah, be it a vacation, and then if we went back to, let's say, Seattle or here or wherever, it's like we've always been here. That never took place, you know.
Did you hear her?
Yeah.
That like you're on a vacation, and when you're in the midst of the vacation, it's like this never existed, and when you're done with that, it's like that never existed. Because what's happening is you're in the moment. So they're not that past stuff that one mind keeps trying to regenerate and relive. When one's done attempting to relive things, then they step into that more into this moment, and that stuff is really gone.
Right, and in terms of being excited about anything, I mean, you can talk like, oh, that's coming or whatever, but it's not felt.
There's no feeling for that. Yeah, there's no excitement to, oh my God, I'm going on vacation, this is coming up, and there's excitement. No, you don't have, because there's no projection out towards that. You know, there's just not. So there's no energy going out toward that. Doesn't mean that when it comes, it's not, you know, enjoyed. It's enjoyed fully, but there's no anticipation of something that falls away. There's none of that. Getting excited about something that's going to take place later. You don't amp yourself up for that stuff because there's no anticipation for things.
But it's a good thing. I mean, people might see this as, oh, how dull, and it's not.
Yeah. Well, exactly. People might think it's dull, but it's really not dull at all.
Not at all.
It's just different. One is not cluttered up with all the rest of these things, and you're freed up to experience really just this moment.
It's
Yes, we have a hand raised over here.
Yeah.
That's a good little sod hawk over there. You get
Raising
an
your
A.
hand. Yes, it was funny.
But then, what happens when you've got something that needs to be done? Like you have an appointment, you're in the middle of a project that needs to be completed by a certain date, etc.
It just happens.
Doesn't mean it's any different.
Doesn't mean
that's
it's
why I'm asking,
any.
because
It's
I'm
no
trying to
different
put
for
pieces
that.
the mind trying to put
Because
pieces
you know, when there's an appointment, okay, I put it in my phone, and it alerts me, and there's an appointment. Okay, when the appointment time comes, you get up and you go.
It's It's just like anything else.
That's all. There's no anticipation about it or worry about it, and oh my God, I got to remember or do this.
Yeah, my question is so much about anticipation. My question is really kind of like, how do you remember to do it? That's more my question.
That's why I have the cell phone that I program things into, because you lose track of days.
Oh, that
especially when you're not working in the workforce, it is even more so. It's like you don't know, every day is the same. You know, whether it's a holiday or whatever, again, you're not anticipating or projecting into it, or you don't have the, dramas around it. It just, it's another day.
It was bad in Seattle when I was working, but being here and not working, are you kidding? It's really hopeless.
It's hopeless. You never know what day it is. That thank God for computer screens, that I wake up and I see, oh, it's Sunday. Yeah. Otherwise I would never know.
It's just the same thing as it's just this moment, you get more and more into that, and then the days
Right.
Anything.
You don't see one day as higher than the next or less or whatever. It's just the next experience. That's all.
I just leave a note on my computer or something for if there's appointments or something. But, now that you're not working, really, what is there to remember so much?
I have trouble with the dates and everything, too. So.
Right, but, now you don't really need to be in that unless how many appointments do you have? You just
I just say I don't know.
Yeah, well, exactly. So don't get in, that's the thing. It's kind of that same mindset at work. I have to be here this, but now you don't.
Exactly.
And if there's something, put it on your big computer or make a note of it, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't need to center.
But that happens, way before realization or something, where you have to start taking notes and doing stuff like that, and you'll freak out about it at first when things start to shift. It's like I thought, I can't remember things, oh my God, and when I was going to school for medical assisting, and I thought, oh my God, I can't remember, I can't study, but I graduated with honors. But at the time, I was feeling like, oh my God, I can't remember, I can't think, I can't process, I can't. Well, obviously something was happening. Because I graduated with flying colors, but at the time was thinking, oh my God, I can't think, and, I'm not remembering, etc., etc. But that was just the ego's spin on this stuff. But because proof was in the pudding, I did graduate.
That's funny, though, just what I was bringing up to you about studying and, not remembering things. Taking the test, I'm like, oh my God, I can't think.
Yeah.
I think it's probably that one of panic.
Yeah, one panics and stuff, but when it does come through, and it's okay, in the end, it does. What's needed shows up when it's needed. But yeah, when I was going through the journey, the same thing. You get to those points and the thoughts start slowing down, and these things start taking a bit of a backseat, and one panics. In the midst of the journey, when things started shifting, I, always carried with me a day planner. And I'd write down appointments, I'd write down all these things, because couldn't, really felt like I wasn't remembering anything, and you're panicking about it. And so, I lived with I called it my portable brain. I took the day planner with me everywhere, and anything that was of any import would write it down.
That's what I had to do at work, because at the end of the day, I would see two patients that were long and everything, but if I didn't have their name and all of their stuff that I wrote down, I wouldn't remember their name or anything.
Exactly.
Same with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't even picture them, so I would need to look
right,
at them.
You don't even picture them at that point. Yeah.
have this person have this died, and I needed to get it right. So I just looked back, and then when I saw their name, sometimes it jarred something.
Exactly. Exactly. But you learn to work with it. It's just a different way of doing things, that's all.
And I know they thought I gave them full attention and care at that time, but I forgot who they were at the end.
Exactly.
But that's all.
I guess it didn't matter though.
It doesn't matter if you remember a name or not. Yeah, you're fully engrossed and even more engrossed in being in the moment and giving the best you can give. But as far as details of this and that, it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. So one has to document and write it down, etc., in order for it to jar and bring back whatever it is that one needs to access.
A couple things I glance at, and it would just come.
Exactly. Then it shows back up. Yeah.
Kind of funny. I mean, if they only knew, I forgot about it.
Yeah, it's like.
But you know, that's the way it
Who
is.
was that? I don't know.
Yeah, or someone streaming. You know, the thing is, the full care comes in at the time if it's needed, and that's it.
Exactly. What's needed is there as it's needed. But when it's going through the original shifting states where it's just starting to, fall away, having more fall away, then, of course, ego at that point is in panic mode because, oh my God, what am I going to do? Am I getting Alzheimer's? What? It goes through all of that drama, fear mode, initial fear mode, and nonsense that one,
It does. It is kind of does take place,
Yeah.
You're worried about not functioning and so many things.
Yeah.
And all these projections. It's
Worried about not functioning and projections, etc. But
just keep going forward. So if you sincerely desire that, keep going. That's all.
Yep, just got to keep going forward. And it rectifies everything in the end. It's
Pretty funny.
when you get towards the end and you look back at all that, kicking and screaming and, stuff and panic and, drama along the way, just looks at it and goes, oh my God. That was pretty ridiculous. But that's what happens.